Hello and welcome to CommunityForce training. This is the training session for our scholarship and grants platform. In this session, we will be covering the Notification Center. And so the Notification Center is where all the email templates on the site are located. And we'll also talk about how you can send emails to your applicants and communicate with them via the system. So in the Notification Center, some of the items we will be discussing today will be how to edit system global templates. So system global templates would be like those password templates, the forgot password template. Those are the global templates, and we'll talk about how you access those and are able to edit those if you wish. And then editing system email templates. So those are the templates that are tied directly to application forms and are templates that come preloaded on the site. And so we'll talk about if you want to change the message on those, how you would go about doing that. And then creating custom email templates. You may have certain emails that you like to send to your applicants. So how do you create those templates on the application forms? And then, of course, how to send the emails. And there's two different locations you can do that. So we'll talk about that today. And you can send emails immediately, or you actually can schedule emails. And then once you schedule emails, there is a time frame that you do have the ability to cancel an email that has been scheduled. So we'll talk about all that in this specific training. So let's go ahead and go to our sites. Again, like I said, this is for scholarships and grants. This is the same functionality for scholarships as it is for our grant site users. So that's why we're doing this dual training. So when we are looking at the screen, just know that it is the same information for both the scholarships and grants. It's just the verbiage, of course, one will say scholarships, the other one will say grants or funding source. So here on the site, so I'm on the grant site right now, and if I skip to the scholarship site, you can see it is the same screen. So to get to the Notification Center, the first ones I want to talk about are the ones in the Administration tab. Now I know we did touch on it on the Administration training, but I just want to look at it one more time. So on the Administration dashboard, you're going to see a Global Notification Center. And that Global Notification Center, if I click on it, that is how you actually, here you can see there's all those multiple application forms, and this is how if you have multiple applications and you want to adjust your templates, you can do so from the screen on all your application forms one at a time, of course. But if I go and I hit the select, I change this to select, and I do not change an application. I don't select an application. This will show me the system global templates. So that's that forgot password. I'm the grant admin, the password new account confirmation, the password change confirmation. So these are those messages that go to the applicants when they create their new account. So this is the one that they get when they create their new account, or when they click that forgot password. If they click the forgot password, this is the email that they receive. So if for any reason you wanted to change the message on those, you can come here to this page, click on that template, and open it up and read what it says, and then make changes to that. However, you do want to use caution because, of course, there are links here on those emails. There's these merge fields, and so you do not want to remove any of the merge fields from those system global templates because those are directing them to specific areas. If you remove those merge fields, which are these items with the brackets, or if you come in here and put a space or something in there and you break that link, they won't receive the message that they need to receive. So that is something you do want to use caution with making updates to those. And so it is just a matter of opening this up. If you wanted to change the subject line, you can do so here with the email subject. And then once you make your updates, you just click the update button, and that would make the appropriate changes. So that's where you would access those. If you're looking for those and aren't sure where to locate those, that's where you would find those specific templates. And there is a guide that talks about all the templates and what's the trigger from the system that makes those emails to go out. And so, of course, again, these are the Notification Center. These are not tied to the global and then the global system templates. If I go back out here, These right here, there's no application that they're tied to. These are the only templates that are not tied to a specific application process. Now, the other notification center I want to touch on is if I go home and we go in on a individual application form. So I'm going to go here on this application. And you'll notice when we first open it up, we're in the Manage Applications tab. There's this Notification Center here. So I'm going to click on that. And I'll go to Grants too. We'll go to the grant site. So we're here in the grant site, selecting an application, Manage Applications tab, and there's the Notification Center. And then as soon as we click that Notification Center, you'll start seeing all the email templates that come preloaded when you get the system. Now, of course, this illustration, we do have some custom ones that we've built onto this specific application, but the ones that say system over here, these all come preloaded on your applications when those applications are built, when the site is built. So one thing we always recommend is here at CommunityForce, as part of your implementation, we do not edit email templates. So all these email templates are out there. And when you get your site and you get admin access to your site and you've taken this specific training, we do recommend that you go in on the application that has been built for you, because this is usually, you want to wait till the application's been built, and we're just in the final stages of drafts because we, a lot of times clone the application. You can come in here. We recommend you come in here and start opening all of these emails, looking at them, getting familiar with the triggers, and adjusting the messages that you want to be relayed to your applicants. So these come with default messages, but more than likely it may not be a message you want the applicant to receive. You might want to change that message. The subject lines, you may want to change those subject lines to meet something that has more meaning to your applicants that are applying to your processes. So the system templates, like I said before, do come preloaded, and each one of these has a trigger that makes that email be sent from the system. A lot of them have automatic triggers that make them to be sent. And so, of course, some of the key ones, the additional info request, that's that section release. When you're releasing sections back to applicants, they get that. When they click the accept award, they get an email notifying them that that acceptance did go through. And then also some of these emails actually come to the application contact. So when we built the application form and the general information of the application, we added an application contact. So some of those emails do go to that individual. So you want to get very familiar with these emails. One that I do want to point out is the submit confirmation. That's one that a lot of our clients do want to go and look at for sure, because that's going to be one of the first emails that your applicants get, aside from those password emails. This is when they complete their application form. And once they've completed their application form and click submit, remember they get the submit message on their screen, and that's in the build of the application settings. That's that submit under application settings. But they also have an email that gets sent to them, and that's this application submit confirmation. So if I click in on that, just so you can see, and this is how you would look at all of your email templates. You just click the name. And so here we see, here's the name of the email. And then this is the subject line that's on this specific one right now. So of course, all of these emails, you want to look at your subject lines, and you may want to put something else in those subject lines. So that it has meaning, so that the applicant, when they see that email come through, they know exactly what it is. And then here's a description of that specific template. And it says this template is for users who have successfully submitted their scholarship apps. So this is the description of that email. And this is an email that's going to the applicant. So then down here in the bottom here, this is the body of the email. So at this current time, if I was to send this email, this is the message that applicant would get. Again, go in, look at it. Is this the message you want them to receive when they submit their application? And so if it's not, then feel free to go in and change it. You can add, these are the merge fields over here to the right that you can add. Maybe I want to add a signature to this. And then to get familiar with these signatures, there is a guide on that that goes along with this, that goes into detail, that explains each one of these merge fields and what they're pointing to. And if you insert that merge field, where is it getting the data from in the system? So of course, this is coming from the signature on the fund that is tied to the application. So when you manage application funds, there's a signature field, that signature editor box. And so if I put this here, then I'm getting that signature in there. Okay. Now when you pull these over, right here, you might want to adjust the fonts. You can do so by just highlighting it. And then of course, if I want to change it to a different font, I can do so. I usually like to make my edits and then I just come here and then I just, sometimes that way I know they're all at the same font now. Because sometimes when you pull these merge fields over, they're at a certain font, but maybe your actual message you have at a different font. So you want to get everything uniform. And so then you can just kind of do that. Just highlight it all and then just kind of click out of it, click back in, click out on the size, click back in, and then it should all format into the same formatting or the font and the size. And of course you have the other formatting functionality that you can do as well. And then once you make the change, you do want to hit update. Now also with these emails, there are fields already in there that have brackets around them that are merge fields that we put in those templates. So I do ask you to use caution again, if not to remove those merge fields, because those are looking at specific information. If you remove that merge field, or if you come in here and put a space in or something like that, the system will not be able to locate that merge field. And so when the email goes out, instead of it merging, it's gonna look just like it is in the email. It's not going to merge any data. It's just going to show that information. And if you remove it, it could have been important information that they could have received. So that's how you update the templates. It's that simple. And like I said, you want to go in on all of them. You do want to look at the guide and understand what all these emails are, because some of them may be sent with your process, but some of them may not, depending on how you're using the system. Those certain emails will go out, but certain ones will not. For instance, if you have request sections, you have these requests from applicant, and then you also have a request from signature. These are called nomination templates. And you can build multiple nomination templates, because if you're using request sections, you'll know what I'm saying, that those request templates are tied to each individual section. You can have an email per section. And so you can create multiple emails for that. And so here, if you are using request sections, you're going to want to look at your request section. What's the email tied to that request section? If it's the default email, it's this one right here. Application request from applicant. This is the default template. And then we also have another one it's a custom one, but we always have it pre-built. It's called request for signature. So when you're in your general information, your application setting, on request sections, if you have a request section here and you don't know what email is being sent, you can come over here on that section, hit the edit, go down here to email template. And notice here it says the email template that's being sent for this specific section is the letter or recommendation teacher. That's the email. So if you want to know what that email says, then you need to come to Manage Applications. Go to the Notification Center and make sure you're on that application, because it's application. Each application has its own group of email templates. If you clone an application, they all clone over. So once you create them on one, every time you clone it, those same messages will be there. And then that one was letter recommendation teacher. So then here it is. There's that template. You can click on it. See, it says custom. And if you want to change the subject line, and then here's the message that's going out with that one, this is where you would update that message, and then you would want to make sure and hit update to make that change. So that's how you update the current ones that are there. Now, if I go back out, you're going to see here, you also have the ability to create your own email templates. So remember, these are all triggered by events in the system, the ones that are system templates. Custom templates, more than likely they're not, unless they're a notification template. But if you create a template, you can actually create your own template. If I click that button here, and you would make sure this says custom. And then you can create a template. So if you have a process like you're awarding, or maybe you want to create an email, it's getting close to deadline, and you want to send an email to all your applicants, you can actually build a custom template of your own. Any messages that are the same message that you might repeatedly send to different applicants, you can create the template, and then when you see how we send emails, you'll see how that works. But you can just come here to create the template. Your first step here is you have two choices. Ignore these choices here. These are just for if there's a template out there already and you want to copy it. It just allows you to quickly, like if it's a recommendation, you're going to be making a template here. You're going to see there's an add new nomination template. Say you have multiple request sections and you want to create different templates for those request sections. You would use the add new nomination template. But maybe you want to build off of one that's already there. You can actually select it real quick here, but remember you don't want to edit it here. This is just for reference point, and maybe you just want to highlight it. I'm just holding my mouse, highlighting, Control C, and now I'm going to go here to add new template, and now I have my blank slate. I can come in and Control V. That's why you see these additional items here, because maybe there's one out there that you want to copy, and so it allows you to grab it while you're here. But when you're ready to actually create the template, you need to make sure you're in the Add New Nomination template if that's what you're creating, or you're in the Add New Template field. So I'm just going to delete this because there are fields that aren't available. So the Add New Nomination template, like I said, that's for the request section. So if you have multiple request sections and you want to start building templates for those, you definitely want to choose the Add Nomination template, because there's specific fields which are below this line that work in relation with that process. Certain links that you can add to that email that you have to be in the Add New Nomination template to be able to add those. Now, any other template that's not a nomination template, you would use the Add New template. And as soon as I click that, then you see the next thing here. What it does is it tells us what application it's in. Make sure this says custom. You don't want system. It has to be custom. And then here is where you would give it the template name. So this is the name of the template. So we're just going to call this, and you might want to think of how it's alphabetically going to fall in the listing. I might want this to be application notify deadline pending, something to that extent. And then the subject line. This is the subject line that they're getting. And then a description. And then down here is where then you would start creating that template. Okay, so I just needed to make sure I had that Add New Template. So then when you come down here, when you're ready to add that new template, it says Add New Template. We've got the data here. So once you get down here, these are the available merge fields you have that you can put into the email template. So you can see all of these merge fields is how you can send those messages, and it'll pull from the data. And like I said, there is a guide that goes into more detail as to what each one of these items are looking at, so you can get familiar with it and know what you want to add to your template. But when you're ready to create the template, you just type your message. So we're going to dear, and then I'm going to pull in this template. So I'm highlighting the brackets. You want to get both of those brackets. It's very important that you do that. And then I'm going to Control C, and then I'm going to Control V to paste it in, and then ready to do the next line. And then here is an application deadline. I can pull that in. And you'll notice here, when I did that, I picked up more than I should. You want to just pick this part of the bracket up here. I'm just throwing something in here real quick. And then the difference, you have this grant fellowship name. I will kind of touch on some of these. This is the name that they see on that search page, that they're actually, when they go to apply, they click that name that they see where they actually click the apply button is actually the grant fellowship name. The application name is hidden in the background, but if you wanted to put that in an email template, you could, but that's the application name that's in the application, which is this name right here. But the grant fellowship name, that's the name they see based on the Manage Application Fund. And when they're searching their search page and they see that apply button, that's the name they are seeing. So that's why I picked that one. So I'm just saying you've started the application process for the following application. The deadline for the application is such and such is that deadline. Okay. And then here, and then I want to put that signature in here like this. And then I may do something like this. And then I could put maybe some contact here. I might put this reply to email like this. And then there's your message. And then maybe I might want to italicize that. Okay, so once you click your message, you just come here, you click save. And then once you click save, it will list here in the listing. So we called that, it was a custom. So here's the custom. And then here's that email, application notify deadline pending, something to that extent. There's that custom email now we've now created. And so there's no limit as to how many you could create. And remember, I'm building this in this application. So when I go to clone this for the next period, that will stay with that application form. So that's how you create templates. Now, how do you send templates? Send emails in the system? Well, there's multiple ways to send emails. So in reports, so if I'm here in Manage Applicants, if I click on that, and when you're in a report, if you see a notify over here, and this is the notify for the applicants, this notify button right here is how you can send emails to an individual applicant. So here I can come here and maybe I want to send an email to this individual here. Or maybe this one here, we'll pick this one. I want to send an email to this individual, and I would select their name, and if I had multiple, I could select them as well. It's going to send the same message to everybody. If it's the same message and I wanted to, I can, but I'm just going to do the one here. So I would select the name, and then I can just come up here and hit notify. And so this is the email to that specific person. And so you notice here that it will populate with their name. And if you have multiple names here, it is a blind copy, so it's not going to notify everyone. When it sends the email, it's just going to have that individual. It's not going to have everybody's names on there. And then you have where you can select the template. So maybe I have that template. I just want to send it to that one person, so I can come here and then locate that template I just created. Whoops, clicked out. Where's the one or I can, send one of these if I want, but I'm more than likely going to do a custom. So here, notify deadline pending. And then it's going to automatically populate with that information. Now, if I didn't have a template, I don't need to necessarily pick a template. I can just leave that blank. I can add a subject line of my own, and then I can just send them a quick message. Maybe I don't want to send them any of my templates. I just want to send them a quick message. I can do so. And then down here, you have the schedule the email and send now. But before I get into those, I want to talk about something else here that's on emails. So anytime you send an email using that notify button or the other notify batch process, which I'm going to show you here in a minute, you're going to see here a toggle. And what this toggle does is it says include contact in emails sent to applicant. So especially our grant users, you may even use this more. You may have in the application form, maybe you have an email for a contact person. So when the application's being built, I'm going to close out of here. We're going into application settings. And when the application's being built, you may have a question where you're capturing another person's email. So not to the applicant, because remember, everything you send from the system goes to the applicant that you're clicking on, and it's based off of their user profile email. That's who it's sending to. But maybe there's another email you want to capture, another email you want to be able to send information to. So in the build of the application, and this is the same for grant users, so if you have maybe a program contact, so it might be one person is going in creating the application, but maybe there's some other people that need to be contacted. So those individuals could be contacted. What this means is they would be contacted anytime you send an email from that notify button or in a batch in the notification center in the notify tab on that screen. That's the only emails they can get because that's where that toggle is located. So when you create an email, so here in the application, if we're looking at the application, and if there's a question, let me go into general information on this one. That is an email question like this one, secondary email. So maybe I want it to go to their email that they're logged in with, but maybe I want this message that I'm sending them because it's an important one. I'm personally sending it. I want this email here, the secondary email, to also receive emails when I send emails personally to that applicant. So there's this toggle here when you select the type, the question type email. There's a toggle that says include contact in emails sent to applicant. So anytime you create an email question type, if you want that person to also receive emails that you're personally sending from the system, not the system triggers, but ones you're personally sending, you can select this to yes, save it on all those those question types. And now while we're in the manage applications, and we've selected the individual and we've selected notify. And we've selected, we've created our email or our template. So we select the template, and then it populates the information. So you're going to notice this toggle right here. It says include contact and emails sent to applicant. If you want that individual, any of those individuals that email question has been built, and in the email question you said yes, including contacts, when you're sending this email, it's important to hit this toggle, because if you do not hit this toggle, that other email will not get this email. But if you say yes to this, you're saying, when I send an email to this applicant and they have another email individual, another email address in that question, then I want that individual also to receive this email. So that's how you control that. And then it says yes, and then you would just come here and then hit the schedule or send now, and it would send it to both of those individuals. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off though. And then when you're ready to send, of course, the schedule, if I click schedule the email, then what happens is the date and time open up. And so maybe I want to schedule this email to go out maybe tomorrow at a specific time, tomorrow at 5:10 p.m. Now here's something you want to think about though. If you're sending an email, especially the one like I'm sending right now, and I'm scheduling it, make sure you want to think about this. So maybe between now and tomorrow at 5:10 p.m., the applicant goes in and submits it. So now I've scheduled this to go out. They've already submitted, and then it's going out. Then they're liable to say, hey, I did submit it. Why am I getting this message? So when you're thinking about scheduling emails, think about the message you're sending to them. And if it's based off of something like the one I'm doing right now, more than likely you don't want to schedule it, you want to send it now, because it's something that needs to be notified now. So if I was to do one like this, more than likely I wouldn't schedule it, but I would just do the send now when I go to send it. And so to hit the send now, you would just come here, hit send now. And then that email would be ready to go out. Now, that's one way. So anywhere in reports, you have that notify button where you can click notify and send an email. And then also that toggle is there. Now, the other place where you can send emails is in Notification Center. Now, let's say, notice all your applicants, you have that status. So if you go to Notification Center, in the Notification Center, it allows you to send emails in batch based off of status or status detail. And you can do that here in Notify. So I can click the Notify. And when I click that Notify, you'll notice a blank email slate opens up here. And I can say, give me all the applicants that are pending submission, so status over here, pending submission. So all the applicants that are pending submission, it's going to say, okay, there's 13 applicants that are pending submission. Or if you're using status details, you can actually choose by status details. You can do both or just and or. And then again, you're going to see include contact and email. So if I want that contact, that additional contact email to receive these, I would say yes. Otherwise, leave it at no. And then, of course, here it automatically opens up to do a schedule. But maybe I don't want to schedule it, so I can just leave it because I'm doing a pending submission. And then again, you can come down here, create your own message. Or if you have a template, you can come here and select one of your templates that you've created. Here, you can see it's only giving me the custom ones at this level. I can click it. And remember again, if I'm scheduling this, I got to think of the message I'm sending, because if I'm saying send this to everybody pending submission, know that if they submit between the time I do this and the time that the email is created and the time that the email is sent, it will still send that email to them. So that's something you want to use caution. And so here I've got pending submission, but I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to schedule this one because I want to show you something here. So we're going to schedule it, say we want it to go out tomorrow, and we want it to go tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. And then this is the message, this is the email, and then I can click send. So if I didn't want this to be scheduled, I would bypass what I just did, entering a date, and then I would pick today's date. Of course, I wouldn't bypass it, but I would pick today's date and then the most current time for today, which right now it's picking 5:30 because that's the most current time. There's a delay that the system has in sending emails. So this is the earliest that I would be able to send it, and you'll see why there's that delay. And then here I can preview. So if I want to see what it looks like, who all is going to get this message, I can see who's going to get this message. By looking at that, and again, it's a blind review, and then the date and time they're going to get it, and then just kind of a preview of what that's going to look like. And then I can just close the preview, and then hit send. It said send email. I can say yes, click OK, and now it's going to send that email to all 13 individuals. Now there's two areas here. You have a notify status. So any email you send using this notify tab, or if you're in a report and you click that notify button, here in notify status, you will be able to see every email you've sent in the system and the current status of that email. So here you're going to see all these emails that were sent, and it says not sent. So right now that email, remember I scheduled it, and even if I didn't schedule it, it's scheduled to go out at 5:30. And right now it says it's not sent. It's going to send it at 5:30 p.m. So you actually have 10 minutes, okay, from the time you send it. Here I can go into batch schedules. So this is the status. This is everyone has received it. If I want to see what the message was, I can click the view and then view the message that I sent, what actually got sent to them. I can click cancel here. That's not canceling the email, that's just to get out of there. But I can go to this batch schedule, and notice it says only batches or emails scheduled 10 minutes after the current time can be canceled. So right now I have an email, and notice it says right here, application notified deadline pending. I can actually cancel this. It's not due to go out till 5:30. It hasn't hit that 10-minute mark yet, so I can cancel it. So all I need to do is just come here. Maybe I thought, oh, I didn't mean to send that. I can come here and cancel. It's within that time frame. Do you want to cancel the batch? And I can say yes and click no. And then here, it's been past, I should say it's past 10 minutes. It's not sent, it was ready to go out tomorrow. So that's why it's allowing me to cancel. The other one though, it says after the current time. So right now, the current time is 5:11, and I'm not able to cancel any that are scheduled to go out now. So right now, see, it says email not sent, but though it says email not sent, but it's said here 5:10, and so right now we're at a 5:11, and so of course I can't cancel that one. But the ones that I've done batches and I've set them to go out at a scheduled time, and that scheduled time is after 10 minutes after the current time, I'm able to cancel that specific message. But if I did it at the current time, then I'm not able to cancel it. It's only ones that you're doing in the future. Okay, so that's how you do that. Now, if you have an email that you want to cancel, you're within this time, the 10-minute time frame, you can try to get a hold of support, and maybe they can halt that for you. Otherwise, it will go out immediately. And then also again here, you can even see the details here again, and then see the details of the email, view it, and what the actual status was. And you can even search on that screen. So, but that's one way on scheduled emails that allows you to delete scheduled emails. But like it says, that if it's has to be something that's scheduled 10 minutes after the current time. Okay, so that is pretty much the notification center and how you send emails from the system, how you create your templates. And again, that is something you will want to do, a little homework for you before you go live. You will want to go in and look at all your templates, look at your messages, make sure you have everything ready and set up, ready to go. And so that when those triggers happen, the email goes to the applicant, it is a message you want your applicants to receive, because that is not something we do as part of implementation. That is something that you will be responsible for, making sure those messages are what you want it to relay. So That is it for today's training on this information, the notification center. So hopefully this gives you a better understanding of emails and how the system sends them. And also just make sure you do refer to the guide that kind of goes into more detail about the system templates and what those triggers are, so you can get familiar with those, as well as the merge fields. What are those merge fields? What are they pointing to? So when you put a merge field into an email, you understand what that merge field is going to put into that specific email that you're sending. So that is the notification center guide that you can get that information from. So thank you for your time and hope you all have a wonderful day.